myself are your hosts for this evening. We would like to give a big thank you to Nick McDaniel for sponsoring this event, East End Baptist Church for allowing us the use of their building, as well as the members that helped set up and provide the sound system. The candidates for participating, Skylight Sign and Neon for providing the billboard on Arch Street to advertise this forum, and Dave Ellswick, who will be our moderator for this evening. He will be asking questions drawn at random that were submitted by the voters of Saline County. Due to the time allotted, we ask that you please hold any and all applause. We thank you for coming and caring about Saline County. And at this time, I'll hand it over to Dave and we'll get started.
You all should be proud of yourself for showing up tonight. At least you show that you care about your county, and that's a good thing. Thanks for coming. I am going to tell you the rules and how the format of this will work, and then we'll let each candidate come forward for 2 minutes and tell you who they are, a little bit about themselves. And they're going to keep the time, and when their time is said, they say it's up, I'm going to say time, and if you don't stop talking, I'm going to throw a microphone at you, all right? Just so you all know. So don't complain to me if you go home with a lump on your head. Rules tonight are real simple. The questions are here. We'll let everybody introduce themselves first, and I'll start asking the questions. We'll start with the first candidate first on the questions, let everybody answer. Then we'll go to the second question, and we'll start at that point with the second candidate to start first with that question. And we'll keep going until we go to 10 questions. We'll go to 10 questions. Following the questions, we'll have a final question that will be directed to all of the candidates, and they'll have 2 minutes to answer that question along with their closing remarks. So that's the way it's going to work tonight. We hope to have you out of here by midnight. All right, so let's get this underway by bringing up candidates. We'll start with, from my right, the first person sitting at the end. Let him come up and introduce himself to you, and then each one in turn will come up and introduce themselves. Gentlemen, when you start speaking, gentlemen, as you come up, once you start talking, your time will start.
I'm Rodney Goshen, and I've been living in Saline County for 25 years. I'm married for 42 years. I've got 5 kids. I've got 9 grandkids. I've been living in Saline County, like I say, about 25 years. I've been in business for 35, and I'm running on the business part of the sheriff. That's all the sheriff is a business. So I believe I can answer the questions if it stays within the business of the sheriff's office.
I'm Bruce Pennington. I live in Benton, Arkansas. I'm married, happily married to, I overmarried. But anyway, I have 5 grandkids, 4 of them girls, and 1 boy. I retired after 24 years with the Arkansas State Police as a sergeant. Went to work at the Saline County Sheriff's Office as a patrol sergeant. Worked there 8 years. Then I ran for sheriff and spent 5 years as sheriff. You know, my main thing is I appreciate y'all being here. A lot of times we have spoken to each other, and it's good to see a crowd of this size that takes interest in East End, your community. I was very active in supporting East End with our substation here. I hired 2 part-time additional patrol deputies just for East End. So during that time, y'all had more protection per se than any other part of the county because y'all had more problems than any part of the county. But a lot of good people out here. It's just the fact that people come from Little Rock into East End and do their crimes and then go back home. But we were able to reduce the crime rate countywide, and 9.2%, and that's burglaries, things like that. Again, I appreciate y'all being here. My name is Bruce Pennington, and I know most of y'all out there. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out here this evening. The fact that you're out here shows that you care about your community, and that makes you a true patriot. I'd like to thank all of these candidates coming here this evening. Just because you guys are all putting your neck out there and wanting to run, that shows you to be true Americans in my book. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. For the last 24 years, I've devoted my life to public service to our country and to our community. I started out in the United States Army after graduated high school. I went over, got in the Army. I was in Desert Storm, Desert Shield. I spent 16 months in South Korea along the DMZ. When I got out of the Army, I was married while I was in the Army, and my wife was thankful that I was getting out of the Army. She got a little upset when I decided to get into police work because I got into a safer job, really. So that you know, but she knew what I was getting into. So for the last 20 years, I have served at the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office. I currently am the captain over our Criminal Investigations Division. Prior to that, I ran our patrol division that has 70 people. While I ran the patrol division, I also managed our entire fleet over 100 vehicles. Prior to that, I ran our Internal Affairs unit. I've been the training sergeant for the entire department. I have won every award that is at our department. I realized early on in my career that I needed to get educated if I wanted to become a leader. I realized that I wanted to lead and show people and help people in my organization to help the community. So while I was a young detective working narcotics and all kinds of ungodly hours, I went to night school, I went to school on the weekends, and I was able to obtain a degree. That degree has helped me move further in what I do. I now possess a senior law enforcement certificate, which is the highest law enforcement certificate that you can get. We're at a crossroads in Saline County. I came to Saline County because I wanted a better place. Okay?
My name is Kevin Cooper, and I've served Saline County loyally for 14 years. I started my law enforcement career there as a non-certified detention officer and worked my way through patrol. I was elected as the first only COP officer, community-oriented policing, due to my hospitality I treated to the public. After that, was able to make contact with thousands of Saline County residents and noticed their main concerns was the issue with narcotics. So I took a stand and decided to commit myself to working narcotics, which is what troubles our area the most. I was promoted to narcotics detective in 2002, and from there I overseen our narcotics division, and I also worked in Japan, working in undercover capacity, which in return made thousands of drug arrests, seized over $1 million worth of drugs, money, and assets. It benefited the company. I'll be the only candidate that has advanced training in narcotics, so I believe with hiring me as the next sheriff, we'd make a great impact and move. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rodney Wright. I was born and raised in Saline County. I graduated in high school. After that, I went on to get a associate's degree in electronics and got hired at the police force. I've been in this for almost 20 years now. In 2011, I was one of two Arkansans that were selected to go to the FBI Academy. I'm now currently the lieutenant over our Criminal Investigation Division and also the commander of our flight. Know that the East End area is very important. We need to get more patrolmen out here. I've talked to several of them about trying to get them out here and see what we can do. That's going to be my main goal. Again, I look forward to being in this trip.
We appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Pleasure to be here to talk to you. We got like 7 or 8 people running for sheriff. A while back, they were saying how many people's gonna run, and we didn't know, so now we have a number. So May 20th, 5th to the 20th is when you wanna get out and vote. When you go vote, be sure to remember EJ Harris. EJHarris.com, you can get on the internet or Facebook, you can find me on there. If you look me up, you'll see that I have one of the most experience here. I have 34 years of law enforcement, 24 years with the U.S. Marshal Service. I was a federal agent for 24 years. I was on the special ops team. I traveled all over the world. I had a team of 8 to 20 people that worked with me all the time. I was a team leader or supervisor. I was with the Little Rock Police Department, the Jacksonville Police Department, and the Class County Sheriff's Department for the last 4 years. Been around with a lot of experience. I've been with the Northeast Fire Department for 10 years. I was a lieutenant, held the rank of lieutenant in that position. I've been out here on the East End constantly running mutual aid with you and the people that live here. What we want to do with the Sheriff Department is give you people resources, get reserve people out here, reserve deputies training, get a couple of people in the car out here that you'll have that will respond to you. So we're going to take 45 minutes to get your response out here in the neighborhood. I'll leave your vote in May. So when you go to vote, be sure and click that EJ Harris. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Tim Dudley. I want to be your next county sheriff. My wife, Renee, and I have been long time residents of Swain County for about 17 years. We actually own and operate a business in the business side. I've been law enforcement for 25 years up to Swain County, Coleman County, Clayton County. Currently now, patrol sergeant. I have experience in all facets of law enforcement. I work in corrections, warrant, criminal investigation. I was a patrol lieutenant, and I currently now, like I said earlier, patrol sergeant. I've worked for the late Lieutenant General Arkansas, he lost his brother-in-law. He was a great man. I took him with. I've developed a 30, 60, and 90-day plan of action, legal plan of action for the sheriff's office. Part of which would be Francis training. I want to get community involvement stronger. Neighborhood watch program. I would like to also, I'm not a public speaker, I want to get, like I said, I want to get the community involvement with crime watch, have a community leader, meet with me, thank you.
I'm Daniel Dodson. I'm a lifelong resident of Swain County. I have a lovely wife I've been married to for 31 years, 2 sons, 1 grandchild. I currently work for the Swain County Sheriff's Department, been with them for 13 years. During this tenure, since 2008, I took over as administrative sergeant and then was promoted to administrative lieutenant. I've worked under 3 sheriffs, and I've worked side by side with each one of them. I still remain there today. A lot of people have come and gone. We've lost about 17 people this last year, since October the 1st. We're in a rebuilding stage. I have the knowledge, the tools. I work with our home court. I've worked with our budgets. I've done every aspect of the department, just like the rest of these guys. These guys are all qualified candidates, or they wouldn't be here before you. but I want to be your next Saline County Sheriff. Thank you.
All right, what we'll do now is we'll begin by asking the questions that have been turned in over about a couple of weeks now. And we'll start with our first candidate to my right, and then we'll go to the end, and then we'll do the second question, and we'll start with the second candidate to answer that first. So let's start on. Question, and you have 1 minute to answer. If elected, what will you do to reduce the crime rate?
Get rid of drug dealers. They're bad, it ain't me saying it. Go talk to the judge. We had a meeting here the other day in Benton with the Benton police, and the judge looked at him and said, the drugs are banned in Saline County and nobody's doing anything about it. So y'all have a lot of experience, but we have a lot of drug dealers and we need to get rid of them. They've been in business too long. It's time to put them out of business. Thank you.
Okay, repeating the question, if elected, what will you do to reduce the crime rate?
Well, that is a good question. You know, Saline County has always had a problem on that aspect of drugs, burglaries, or whatever. Like I told you earlier, we were able to reduce burglaries and residential crimes 9.2% in my tenure. Also, speaking highly of candidate Cooper, who was the senior narcotics officer, he and his partner were able to do just what Mr. Ghosh was talking about, arrest people for drugs. And they were able to get over $1 million in monies and other goods. But we would continue on the same path as before, being able to get after these criminals. You know, one thing I was able to do was add another additional pod. Thank you.
Really, this question deserves a lot more than a minute for an answer. But first thing that I would do is you've got to retool our team. The team being the community, the patrol division, and the investigations division, and the sheriff. Everybody's got to get on board. We've got to get back embedded into our community so that people can tell us what's going on. We have to be responsible in responding to what the community's complaints are. We have to, if we bond with community and build crime watch groups, the crime watch groups will then begin to tell us what's going on in the community and give us that needed information. Build a relationship between an efficient patrol division, restructure the shifts so that we can have, when there's not crime, we don't have so many people working, and we can concentrate on the high crime times, like when your house is being burglarized, or they're out there dealing drugs out on the street. And then, and most importantly, a great communication between the patrol division and the investigations division. Those two should work hand in hand, so when a crime is committed,
The question as far as referring to what are we going to do with the drug problem, I have been working on the drug problem since 2000 as a patrolman. I worked hand in hand with the public by being on COP, and they would inform me toward what each troubled area was, so I focused on them areas. And you can't say that we didn't make any impact by arresting over 1,000 people and seizing the money we did. Not only did we arrest people, we also rehabilitated instead of incarcerated, which is very important to our citizens. If you go adding up the cost of how much it costs to incarcerate a drug user versus rehabilitating, we're better off as Saline County by doing that. And I'd continue to do that, and I'd build a bigger squad for narcotics versus 2 people. The The county is roughly 117,000 people. Whenever you've got 2 narcotics officers trying to defeat the problem, we have issues, so I plan to help out.
All right, repeating the question for you. If elected, what will you do to reduce the crime rate?
Well, the crime rate's not a sheriff department problem. It's not a Benton Police Department or a Bryant Police Department problem. It's Saline County's problem. And the problem we've had is we don't communicate among departments. What we need to do is work together more, because the criminals know no boundaries. The same ones that are breaking into your cars are breaking into the ones in Benton and Bryant. We've got to communicate better, because we have to work together as a team, all agencies, to fight this problem. It's not a sheriff's department's problem. It's all ours. And until we do that, we're uphill battle. So what I propose is better communication among all agencies, working together in order to fight this problem. We can't do it alone. We need your help. We need the community's help. We need your input. We need your eyes. We can't be everywhere. And again, with your help, other agencies' help, we will make it better.
All right.
Let's get closer.
I think the most thing we need here in the East End, the problem is, we started some time ago a crime watch program, and it's grown since then. We went from a number of several groups that are working here on the crime watch. This is what we need in your neighborhood. We need more people that are more educated in what to do, what to look for. If a person comes into your neighborhood, you should know that person, whether they live there or not. See a car comes in a neighborhood, you should know that's not the right person. You should be able to call 911 and get a reaction from the sheriff department much faster than it has been. 45 minutes is a long time to get one out here. You need a unit out here, either with a sheriff deputy or reserve deputies that will respond within a few minutes. I know you're lacking a lot of law enforcement out here, and that's what you need. A good law enforcement is sure to get you that protection and security to protect your lives and your family. Thank you.
Want me to repeat?
No.
Okay.
First of all, we need a proactive department. Right now, 80% of our time is reacting to calls. I came to work here in 1997. We've got one more deputy than what we started with back then, with 68,000 people. We need community involvement, like I said earlier, with the crime watch and a community help to let us know what the problems are in that area. We do not necessarily need to raise the county tax or anything like that. We have deputies at the office during the day that we could actually get out. We've got a transport team that when they're not transporting, they can be out patrolling. There's several different federal grants you can apply for.
It's not what we have to do, it's what we are currently doing. We have implemented in the sheriff's department, we now have cards that all of our patrol officers have. They see some things going on out here that they can write down that will go to our detectives to help be able to watch for what crime is going on. We're trying to work with all agencies, small to the large. All of our local agencies, they can help us as much as anything. We currently, on a good day, have 5 patrol officers out there on the shift. We need to use the resources that are available to us. Our local departments around us, Benton, Bryant, Haskell, Shannon Hills, Alexander, they all are law enforcement agencies that are there and willing to help. We need to step up to the plate. We need to work together, and we can take back our community. And with that, we can curb the crime, break-ins, drugs, and all. Thank you.
All right, we'll ask the second question, and we'll start with Mr. Pennington to answer this question. If elected, what would you do to address the community's suspicions and things known to be fact regarding the corruption in this county?
I would do just like probably the other 7 will say they would do. Become more involved in communities, hold meetings such as this or town hall meetings in the areas from Hot Springs, Village Gate, all the way to the East End. Get people involved. Yes, there has been problems in Saline County. It always has been. Even when I first moved here, you know, there's always been some form of problem. But, you know, it can be addressed. We just need to work hand in hand with the citizens. And having their input, using their input to better resolve the problems in the community, it can be done. Thank you.
If elected, what would you do to address the community's suspicions and things known to be fact regarding the corruption in this county?
First off, the things that are known to be fact, and someone can prove that they're fact, then I will go after that corruption and correct it in here. What I am is a fresh face and a fresh start for Saline County. I owe nobody nothing here. I moved here 4.5 years ago, so I want to bring my kids to a better place. I am a fresh perspective. I don't have a brother-in-law in this game. I don't have a cousin or an uncle. What I have is fresh eyes that's willing to look at these problems, take them head on, no matter what the consequences are, and give the citizens what they deserve, which is a professionally run organization for Saline County.
Sure. If elected, what would you do to address the community's suspicions and things known to be fact regarding the corruption in this county?
Unless y'all watch the news, you'll know that I am a victim of the community corruption because I was wrongfully terminated. What we need to do is elect somebody for the people and not the politicians. And I plan on being that person for y'all. And to differ from what he said, saying he don't owe y'all nothing, I owe you everything. I owe you the services that I've been trained to do for Saline County. Thank you.
I do agree with Mr. Haynes. If it's a fact, it should have already been taken care of. It should have already been addressed. Apparently it hasn't, and it will be if elected. As far as making sure that doesn't happen again, accountability. Accountability, I'm accountable to you. My deputies are accountable to you. That's the main thing. We are accountable to each and every one of you. What we do reflects on our county. And accountability and consistency within our policies and our procedures, that would be one thing that would be done at the very beginning. We would have a strong and very well-written policy procedures. And again, they would be consistent across the board. And again, accountability is the main, and integrity. Both of those two need to be instilled in the sheriff's office.
I've lived in this county for 28 years, and over the 28 years, you ask almost anybody that has lived there all their life or some part of their life, they will tell you, that corruption has run deep in this county. It's always been here and always will be until you get a good sheriff in there that's gonna clean the county up. You need to bring in outside help. You can bring in federal, you can bring in state, you can bring in informants, bring in other people that clean this county up. A lot of times, everybody knows everybody in the county, so the best way to do it is bring an outsider in that they don't know. You have an informant, you can go into any area, Perrin, you can go into this county or this area, East End, and you can work hard, you start making arrests, people realize that this is happening, the bad people or corruption is going to move out of this county pretty fast. So put me in there, sheriff, you're going to see a lot of action start up. Thank you.
Seems like everybody's wanting accountability, which is true. We need accountability at the sheriff's office. Part of that accountability will be developed through the citizens advisory groups that I'd like to start. They'll be coming in every month. They can ask questions, they can look at our books. I'll be invited to the state audit every year of the books. We need strong community involvement in Saline County. I believe that'll clear up most of the damaging reputation that we have. Thank you.
I believe first off, we have to have a good open door policy. The sheriff's office belongs to you, the citizens. We work for y'all. My door will always be open. Mr. Wright, Mr. Dudder are both correct. We do have to have accountability. We have to have professionalism. With those things and with an open door policy, we do our jobs and we do them the way they're supposed to be. Saline County will be the sheriff's department that you want it to be. Thank you.
I think what y'all want to hear is the people that y'all hire could be the ones that we should put in jail. Because, no, you've got people that have to go out of another county to arrest people that raped a child. They work for Benton Police. That's wrong. You've had people murdered. Nobody solves the cases. They're stacked up that high. When you start solving cases, vote for all of them. Thank you.
This question will start with Mr. Haynes.